I am getting ready to make this item gold for a customer. In order for the gold to stick on a molecular level and bond with the silver, you paint a very thin coat of the silver slip on first and then let it dry. So that's what I'm doing right now, is painting an extremely watered down version of the slip onto the piece that I'm going to gold in a few minutes once this part is dry. Making sure that I coat everything that I want to be gold, even the sides and the top. You can hit stop. You're recording again. Alright, now that that layer of PMC silver slip has been applied and dried, the RO22 gold layer can go on top. You want to do this just as thin as the silver layer, otherwise it'll get clumpy and it won't stick well. And you'll have to do 2 to 3 layers of the RO22 to give it a really rich gold feel and texture and look. It may look like when you're applying the RO22 that you're losing the design, but you're not. It'll come back as soon as the RO22 has been dried, so don't worry about the ridge detail or texture of the item once you're applying the RO22 when it's wet. And make sure again that you get your sides well. Are we recording again?
Yes.
Alright, so this is what it looks like after the first layer is dry, so you can see where you need to go back over with the second or third layer. Also, as a side note, the reason I'm wearing gloves is because your oils from your hands will also make RO22 not stick to your PMC piece. So you always want to protect the PMC piece that you had just pulled out of the kiln from firing before you add the bottom layer of slip onto the piece. You have to make sure that your hands and the oils on your hands never touch the item that you're trying to gold. And you also want to be somewhat sparing when you do sides of the item to make sure you try not to get it on your glove, because after all, this is gold and you don't want to waste gold. You also need to have a special paintbrush to apply RO22 with, so you're not washing the gold back off this paintbrush, because that's also wasting gold, and gold is not cheap. And the more layers you have on the piece, which this will be my third layer, 1 with PMC slip and 2 with RO22, the longer it has to dry in between the application of the layers to make sure that the bottom layers are thoroughly dry before you go and try to add another layer to the top. Otherwise, if the bottom layers are not dry, it could make the top layer and the bottom layers curl up and make you have to start all over again, or make your piece curl when you're trying to fire the RO22 into the item.